Mel Case is a sober Latinx storyteller, screenwriter, stand-up comedian, and founder of the San Pedro Comedy Company. They have performed at The Crow, The Laugh Factory, The Comedy Store, and bar shows like this one all over town. So let's give it up for Mel, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Oh my God, this is really fun. So something about my story that's going to be slightly different is that most of these stories are set in high school, but mine is actually set in junior high because I was a hooligan. So I was 10 years old. It was around 1988, and we had this new girl who came to school. And all of us had been together since kindergarten, so it was really exciting to have like a new face in the class. Not only was this girl, we'll call her Blues, not only was she amazing at basketball, and she could drive the ball to the basket like nobody else, pass like crazy, and she was a point guard, but she also had a command of the court that none of us could really manage. So she was just awe-inspiring to me. But the other cool thing about this Blues person was that she had this fantastic short haircut. I had never seen a girl with short hair, and I was like, this kid is rad. Like, they just cut their damn hair, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell my mom. So I go and I tell my mom, and my mom's Colombian, so I'm like, Mamá, me quiero cortar el pelo muy cortico, you know, and which is like, Mom, I really want to cut my hair really short, and she's like, a mí no me gusta, I don't like it. And I was like, pero mamá, me tienes que dejar cortarme el pelo muy cortico, por favor. And I was like, please let me cut my hair really short. And at the end of the day, she was like, okay. And she let me. So I went to the salon, you know, I told them what I wanted, and I walked out of there with a bowl cut. And it was so humiliating. But at least my hair was shorter than, like, you know, where it had been. So I was like, okay, this is progress in the right direction. So Blues and I had the kind of relationship where in class we would send each other so many notes back and forth that our teacher actually allowed us to have a little box on each of our desks. It was a shoe box with the hole cut out of the top, and we would literally drop the notes into in the mailbox, and we would just pass notes back and forth all day. And in retrospect, I was like, why would she have let us do that? Because she really let us get away with murder. And I think it was because she had already pegged us as like baby Butches. And it turned out that this teacher was a lesbian, and her partner was the PE teacher, of course. So we are learning the adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. And there was something about that book that really grabbed on to me and Blues. And we were just like, we love these boys, we want to be like these boys, and we're gonna cosplay like we are these boys. So we decided to cut school one day, and we go down to the local watering hole and we buy these hot dogs, you know. The idea is that we're gonna put them on a long stick and roast them over like a little campfire, and pretend that we're living the vagabond life, you know. And we just wanted to be hobos, and we were homos, and it was just gonna be so awesome. So we go down to the watering hole, we get the hot dogs, and we're riding our bikes up the hill, and we get back to school because we didn't have the common sense to not think that through. And so we ended up at a grove of eucalyptus trees that was also on school campus. But we were like, this seems like a good idea. And so at least we were smart enough to realize that we had to clear a space because there were lots of eucalyptus leaves. So we knew that we had to clear the space because otherwise there was going to be like a huge blazing inferno, and we were going to be arsonists, you know? And that wasn't the intention. We just wanted to like create like a little baby campfire for the baby Butches, you know? And so we did that. We cleared the space, we started the fire, we started roasting our hot dogs, and we were just having the best time. The time of our lives, just like enjoying each other's company, laughing, you know, just being these amazing hobos. And then we see a car drive by. We don't really think much of it. We're like, there's a car, we don't really know why the car is there, but you know, it's driving on a street, so who knows what they have to do. And then 5 minutes later, there comes another car, and they pull into the driveway, and they start going up the hill, like directly at us. And that's when we realized that it's a cop car. So the car had driven by, seen the fire, called it in. The police had found us and driven up the hill toward us. And so, of course, we're 10 years old. We didn't know what the hell to do. So we were like, let's kick out this fire. We're like kicking out the fire. We're running. We're bobbing and weaving through the trees. We're like sprinting. We don't know where we're going. We're just like getting away from this fire and the police. And I fall into a bush. And so my friend Blues is like trying to pull me out, and I'm just flailing, trying to get out of the bush. She can't get out of the bush. Finally, she gets me out, and then we just grab each other, and we're like staring at each other when we hear, "We're sending the dogs out after you." And I was like, oh God, what do we do? So we're staring at each other, and we knew that we had two choices. It was either run further and try to outrun the dogs, or it was run back and turn ourselves in. And in that split second, we decided we're gonna turn ourselves in. So we start to run back, and we're like, wait, don't send the dogs out, we're coming, we are coming. And so we're waving them down, and we appear in front of these police officers, and it's two guys, and they start to laugh. Because not only were they not expecting us, they were expecting like teenager hooligan types. And we were obviously not teenagers, but also of questionable gender. So they were looking at us like we had long dangly earrings, but we had this short hair. So they were like super confused. And so then they get our names. We say Mel Case, and Blues says Blues, and then they realized that we're girls, and they just busted up laughing. They just like couldn't stop laughing at us, and finally they put us into the back seat of the cruiser, and they drove us each home. And unfortunately, that was the last time that I saw Blues for many years, because her parents decided that I was a bad influence. And so I had never been through a friend breakup, and it was really intense at that age to be separated from my best friend. And the good news is that 12 years later, I was living at my mom's house. I had just moved back from New York City, and I was trying to save some money. And I walk out to my car, and I see a little note. And on the car note, it says, "Hi, this is Blues. Here's my number if you want to get together." So we did. We got together. We had dinner. We confessed that we were each queer. We had sex. And then, that always makes me wonder, like, who knew that a short haircut could bring two baby butches together? That's it for me.